Hi guys, it's Allie, and today I will be discussing the characterization of the gods mentioned in the passages entitled Thinker and how Dillard uses these religions to highlight the similarities that are commonly misinterpreted by society. To start off, I'm going to introduce you to God. God is a central figure worshipped in Christianity. God's reign is universal, but it is up to us to make him reign. Page 195. Jesus was known to preach to large crowds of people in crowded public places because he wanted everyone to know of his religion. However, not everyone believed in the messages he was preaching. Dillard questions the almightiness of God because she doesn't believe he holds as much power as people have given him credit for. She is revealing the reality behind society's doubts toward God, which causes the audience to question his existence altogether. Moving on to Judaism. The first similarity is an obvious one. Christianity and Judaism both believe in the same Almighty God. Now, how they were created was a different story. Baal Shem Tov, as shown in the picture, is a central figure of Judaism discussed in the book. He was persecuted for teaching the Torah and became a martyr for the Jewish faith. Despite the hardships that occurred while founding the Jewish faith, people still continued to believe in his religion. The disciples wrote down Baal Shem Tov's teachings, page 112, and hoped to gain a closer relationship with God. Just like Christianity, there was trouble in believing in Judaism. Dillard mentions the story of Baal Shem Tov's death to show that the lack of belief in God can have serious consequences depending on the amount of power you choose to give them. The final section is about Teilhard. Teilhard was the most modern thinker of the three gods. Although Teilhard isn't a real god, Dillard portrays him as a character who reflects the beliefs of the modern world. He describes religion as mental gymnastics, page 85, because with religious background, people are constantly trying to make decisions based on their personal beliefs. Religion sways our decisions to some that may not be true to ourselves. Overall, by comparing Christianity, Judaism, and the beliefs of Teilhard, Dillard leads the audience to question the true pros and cons of having religious background, and the similarities between those thoughts throughout the three religions.
Incarnation of the juxtaposition between the accepted practices in religion and the actions typically looked down upon by them. The story is told beginning from when he was a young boy, working like a little religious soldier as a beadle. At this point, people called him the Baal Shem Tov, the master of the good name, know and use the name of God. But the boy saw his own male relatives, simple-minded he knew. He had already failed at his studies because he skipped school, and now he was failing as a beadle because he fell asleep. Of someone given such a grand title, especially at such a young age, near what he displays through his behavior. He portrays a typical young boy who was bored with his routinist, wants to enjoy being a kid. The usual religious icon that so many different faiths believe in, but rather just employed as one of us, a normal person. The following time that he is mentioned in the book, he is the complete opposite of his original self. Now, he and his second wife moved to the Carpathian Mountains where he dug clay. He lived alone on a steep mountainside with his wife, living in a hut far below. In Maida Boy, intimate and radiant, he started to teach, and he taught until he died in 1760. His morality grew, and he was morphed into this ultimate figure, although he still was just the same person. Way conveyed an underlying ideology that he himself was some sort of god or deity rather than just a teacher. His behavior and the way his life is held for the beauty of maturation in religion is what Dillard utilizes to tell us, shown by Baal Shem Tov's early life.
My name is Alex Hernandez, and I'll be doing the language portion of this video. Dillard uses different meanings whenever she's trying to explain something or put a point across. One of the many words that she uses is irreconcilable, which is basically like this. Say that person A is thinking of a dark circle and person B is thinking of a square with lines in them. Those both are complete opposites and they are therefore not compatible. Sheaf carrier is when basically sheaves are when there are grains rolled up and together and the carrier part is basically in a bucket, which I'll get back to later. Omnipotence is used throughout the novel, and I'll also get back to that in a second. It's when one person is all-powerful or has great power over everything and everyone. And last but not least is salvifically. Salvifically is when you're having the intention or power to bring salvation against or towards to someone. This is basically when somebody goes to a priest for forgiveness of their sins. Next I'm going to talk about omnipotence. Omnipotence's most known definition is all-powerful. It could also mean great power, not necessarily mean all-powerful. Now, going back to sheaf carrier on page 54, the quote reads, "The last sheaf carrier of Israel's strength," which she was quoting poet Nelly Sachs on the Baal Shem Tov. Now, you can relate this sheaf carrier to Israel, meaning this. Sheafs are grain stalks, and they're all rolled together. They're very much closely packed together, and they're together. They're stronger together than they are if they were just single grains. So when you put grains into the ground, they grow crops, and that person's happy about that. The Baal Shem Tov, according to Sachs, was the last sheaf carrier, which means that they were the last ones to plant ideas. So maybe this could be implying that Sachs thinks that Israel no longer has any new ideas. That we'll never know. Thank you.